So, I started this podcast so other people could talk about their issues and have a safe space to go their issues. Well, I shouldn't really say safe because if it's bullshit, I'm going to call it out. I'm going to call it out sometimes when they don't want to hear it. That's just part of it. And I would expect people to do that for me as well. But it's funny. I'm hoping to have a caller tomorrow that we get together and have a conversation. But I figured I might as well do an episode introducing myself a little bit. And I quickly figured out one of my issues, or I should say that issue was highlighted drastically. I've always had an issue with procrastination. And I don't mean procrastination because I don't want to achieve something. I don't want to accomplish something. I don't want something to be done. Procrastination to the fact that I can have a big idea, I can have a thought, something I want to achieve, but I'm so afraid of screwing it up that I either don't start it or I don't finish it. Because long as it's still a work in progress, it's not wrong, right? It's just something you're working on. I'm taking this to the extreme with this podcast. I'm sitting here dicking around with this app, figuring out what color I want my name in the corner. And should my logo be placed down in the bottom or should it be placed in the top or that side over there? I've been messing with this stuff for 2 days, procrastinating doing this part right here. This part where I say, "Hi, my name's Gabe McCurry, and I, like you, have issues that need to be dealt with. I have things that I want to talk about, things that have bothered me, things that I'm proud of, things that I'm afraid other people won't understand." I, like many of you guys, don't want to call a number and try to get into a therapist and spend months on a referral list. Oh, by the way, only after getting your doctor to refer you to a therapist because God forbid we actually know when we need some fucking help and when we need somebody to talk to. And I believe we've only reached that place because we're so afraid of what the other people might think about us. Those people in our life that should be the ones that we turn to for everything. And it's not that they're not there. It's because we don't want to disappoint them. We don't want them to feel a certain way about us. And when we talk about problems and issues, we're afraid that's what's going to happen. Or at least I am. Moving forward with this podcast, I hope that you guys realize everything I say is an opinion, right? It's the way I feel about it. I'm going to say some stuff that's probably wrong, but that's the way I feel. So yeah, I deal with procrastination, deal with the thought of not being enough, the thought of failure, the thought of incompetence. So instead of dealing with that outright, I just don't start or I don't finish. My house is full of projects that I've never finished. Because if I don't finish them and they're not perfect, they're just a work in progress. Well, that only counts for so many years. I think. I doubt I'm the only one with that issue, though. If I am, tell me. Like, Gabe, you're alone in that one. I have other issues too. Uh, I have quirks, things that may drive my wife nuts. I don't know, but that my kids have managed to take on with me. Start with a silly one. I want you to go to the kitchen right now. I want you to pause this, go to the kitchen. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, I should tell you what you can do in the kitchen. Okay. I want you to take your favorite uh, jam or jelly or apple butter if you have it. That's what I did earlier today. Some nice apple butter. I want you to make some toast. I want you to butter it real thick and put some apple butter on it. You've got it. If not, jam or jelly. And then I want you to close it together. I want you to take two pieces, close them together like you'd make a sandwich, but with toast. And I want you to take a bite. Okay. I want you to see what you taste the most. Is it the bread? Is it the butter? Is it the apple butter? What are you tasting the most? Then I want you to take that apart because when we make toast in the morning, we don't make a fucking sandwich out of it. No, we have toast. We have butter and jam or jelly or apple butter or honey, and we eat it open faced. We don't make a toast sandwich. That's just weird. I want you to do that. And then maybe you'll understand what I'm going to talk about here for just a second. Toppings. Toppings. I have a problem when I go to a restaurant place or burger place, but a Subway specifically or Sonic. Subway and Sonic traditionally make their sandwiches upside down. They do. They make them upside down. The meat goes on the bottom, right? It's bread, meat, toppings, condiments. That's how it should be made. That's why they're called toppings. They're not called bottoms. It's not where they go. And the reason I want you to do that little exercise is when you take the two pieces of toast and you eat them together, does it taste like toast accentuated with apple butter and butter, but all this dry bread in your mouth? Does that taste the same as when you just eat a piece of toast covered in your favorite jam or jelly? No, it doesn't taste the same. Of course not. When you take the toppings and you put them under the meat, you're basically making a damn salad with a hamburger on top. If I wanted a salad with hamburger on top, I would order that. But that's not on the menu very many places because that's just freaking weird. No, you tell them what you want on the sandwich. Subway, they make them the wrong way. They put the toppings on the bottom. You bite into it, and I'm like, lettuce, tomato, pickles. Where is my turkey? Where's Oh, there it is. Finally. And that's why when you go to Sonic, your burger tastes cold. It's what happens every time, and you know it's true. You're sitting here thinking, this guy's fucking nuts. Why is he talking about this? But it's true. You go to Sonic, you order a burger. If they bring it out to you with ice cold lettuce, tomato, pickles, onions underneath the patty that came right off the top of the grill. You bite into it, and you're like, that burger is cold and tastes like lettuce, tomato, onions, pickles. Doesn't taste like a burger. So this is to all the restaurants out there. Make your fucking sandwiches right. Please just do us a favor. Just do us a favor. That's a quirk, right? I used to be really bad. I didn't like my food to touch. Uh, you can ask anybody who's eating dinner with us. I have a stack of school trays up in my cabinet. I don't mind. I eat off real china now. I still don't want it to run together. Corn and mashed potatoes. That's just weird. The school trays have come in really handy for taco night though, because you put your little shells right there, put all your little condiments in the little areas, make your tacos as you go. It's perfect. Perfect. That's weird shit. Then I got real issues, just like everybody else. Oh, speaking of, I'm just gonna do a pointless product drop here. Nice hat for my son. Manages Top Golf. Beautiful Happy Gilmore 2 hat. Says on the back, my happy place, Top Golf. So shout out to my son Isaiah for the hat. Thank you. So 4 years, almost 4 years ago now, I woke up and I needed to change some stuff, and I decided the easiest thing for me to cut out was alcohol. I never really felt like I needed to drink. I was never the type that could only have they couldn't only have one. That was not uncommon for me. Wasn't uncommon for me to not drink for quite a while. But the reason I chose to quit is because one day I woke up and I had realized I had started drinking for the wrong reasons. See, I went into self destruct mode, and this is an issue I've dealt with. Well, I should have dealt with a lot in my life. A lot. I've always had a problem that when things are going too well, I'm waiting for them to implode. I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop, for that shit to happen. Right. So what do? I blow it up first. I got really good at it over the years. I got really good at just blowing shit up because why should I let somebody else control that when I can do it myself? And so what had happened was I started drinking because I didn't want to deal with things. I didn't want I didn't want to face things that were going on in my life and my wife's life and our family life. And the problem was everything was actually going too well. Like there was a moment Bobby had just started travel nursing and she was off on her first assignment, or maybe she had just gotten back from her first assignment. But her first assignment, she took a 4-week contract. She normally works 8 or 13 weeks, and she took a 4-week contract so she could just kind of try it out. We wanted to see how it went. We knew the money was going to be better, but how was our family life going to be? She had always been a mom who was there, a wife who was there, and all of a sudden she was going to be 1,000, 2,000 miles away. What would that look like as far as our family structure goes? So we wanted to do a test run because we knew she could come back and get a regular nursing job if she needed to. And the weirdest thing happened, at least for me, and I think for her too. We were okay with it. There we were. We hadn't slept apart from each other really, and well, out of the same house. She'd been an overnight nurse for a while, so we didn't always sleep in the same bed at the same time. But we saw each other in passing every day, and all of a sudden we didn't. All of a sudden she's gone to Florida, and I don't see her every day. I don't kiss her hi when she walks in the door, or bye when I leave for work, or any of that stuff. And after 20 years of being by somebody side by side all the time, basically, you think that that moment they're gone to somewhere else and you don't see them for a while, that it should be misery, or at least I did. I really expected it to just be miserable and for her to call me and me to call her and be like, "We can't do this. Come home. The money's not worth it, blah, blah, blah." And that didn't happen. We were okay with it. And it wasn't because we wanted to be apart, but it wasn't the end. It didn't feel like everything was going to crumble if we didn't see each other every single day and spend every waking minute together. And so that scared me. That scared me to death. Isn't it supposed to be harder than this? What does this mean? Aren't we supposed to be crying ourselves to sleep at night because we miss each other so bad? How do we fix that? What do we do when all of a sudden we wake up and the other person's not there and we're okay? Now, I'm not comparing this to losing a spouse or divorce, especially losing a spouse. That's different when you know they're not coming back. I can't comprehend, I can't imagine what somebody goes through when that happens. But what I'm talking about is when you have the choice to be together and you've chosen not to. Shouldn't that feel awful? But it didn't. It was okay. We knew we loved each other and we knew we were there for each other. For the first couple weeks, I was fine with that. And then it started to bother me. Why are we okay with this? Why am I not miserable? Why is she not miserable? Why is she not calling and begging to come home? Why is she not just arriving at the door with all her stuff and being like, I can't do this. I can't be away from you guys. I got to come home. And it freaked me the fuck out. And so I started after work, I'd come home and what used to be a beer or two or maybe none would turn to a few beers or a gin and tonic for three, especially the gin and tonic when it's hot outside. I mean, come on, let's face it. A gin and tonic when it's hot outside with extra lime, hard to beat. Right. Cold beer when you're mowing the yard, it's hard to beat. So it started turning into that. And what I realized later was the reason it was turning into that wasn't because I was thirstier. It wasn't because I was trying to get drunk. It wasn't any of those reasons. It was I was trying to avoid the conversation inside my own head of why am I okay with this situation? Why are we okay with this? I didn't want to talk about it with myself, let alone with anybody else. So one morning I woke up and I needed to make that change. I won't go into all the details right now. They're not all my details to go into, but I needed to make that change. I needed to change something. I realized that I couldn't run from all my conversations anymore. So that's the one time I went to a therapist. I called my doctor and I said, "Hey, I need a recommendation. I need a referral." I'd been on antidepressants for a long time and anxiety medicines. They had done pretty well, but I felt like I needed somebody to talk to. And so I went into this room with this guy, sat in this uncomfortable chair in the corner, and he told me to tell him what's going on. So I started telling him everything I should be telling myself, all the conversations. I just started spitting it out and letting him and self-diagnosing all the shit that I knew about myself already and that I was afraid to talk to about myself with myself. I just spewed it all over him. And he really gave no feedback at all whatsoever. He didn't bring anything out of me that I didn't already know. And maybe that was his job. Maybe he was the best therapist in the world that made me say this stuff out loud and that's all he wanted. I don't know. I'm not a trained therapist. I've never done that. I I know if that was his goal, if that's what he was supposed to be doing, then it worked. But I don't know that's what he was supposed to be doing. What I know is that I didn't leave that room with any more information than I went in. All I did was give myself permission to release that information. And the reason I was able to do it with him is because I didn't know him. I didn't give a shit. I didn't care about his opinion of me. I His opinion did not scare me like the opinion of my loved ones do. The people who love me the most, people who care for me the most, the people who want the best for me, their opinions scare the hell out of me. They always have. They're the ones you're always afraid of letting down. I wasn't afraid of letting this therapist down. I still can't remember his name. I have no idea. I don't care. So I didn't leave with any more information. I didn't leave with a diagnosis. I didn't leave with And maybe I was supposed to go back to more episodes or sessions. And I'm not talking bad about therapists, traditional therapy at all, whatever. It serves a purpose and it's good for some people, and that's great. And if you're involved with that, wonderful. You do what it needs to be done for self-care. But what I am saying is the country we live in, which I love dearly, we have a medical care issue. There is not enough mental health professionals, and it is too hard and too expensive to get in. People wait months to speak with people, and that's just wrong. So we need a forum. And there are things that I want to talk about still that I don't want to talk about with my family or my best friend. Not because they're going to judge me, because they probably wouldn't. All they would do is be there for out of love and support. But because I'm going to judge myself as I say it. Because my fear, my opinion of myself through their eyes is horrifying sometimes. So what I hope is that I hope over the next however long this podcast goes, I hope that people share this with people who might want somebody to talk to. And if they want to do it anonymously, I'm cool with that. My daughter Justice is going to be on here some with me, co-host with me sometimes. She deals with her own issues. And there's things that we know would be easier if you didn't even know the other person. If you look at my logo, you're going to see a guy standing behind the bar that kind of resembles me and a guy crying in his beer, right? And if you look carefully, you might notice that he's sitting on a couch. Why is there a couch in the middle of a bar? Why is the neon sign saying I'm not your fucking therapist? Well, if you've ever tended bar, you know why it says that. Because if you've ever tended bar, you know exactly what it's like to be a therapist that's not getting paid. And especially when it's a perfect stranger. Because they will tell you shit that they would never tell their spouse or their best friend. Not because they don't need to tell them, but because they're scared to tell them. So that's how I came up with that logo. I wanted something that said, we understand that sometimes it's easier to talk with strangers. So if you need to talk to somebody or you know somebody who needs to talk to somebody and you don't want to say your name, that's cool. Be anonymous. Use a fake name. And if you want to talk about shit in your past, trauma, PTSD, things that happen, things that hurt, people that hurt you, and you don't want to use their real names, don't use their real names. That's fine. If you do, feel free. If they hurt you, drive that bus right over them. I have a firm believing that once I hurt somebody, I give that to them, and it's their right to do what they want with it. Maybe that's not a healthy way to look at it. I don't know, but I don't feel that it belongs to me anymore. So if you want to drive a bus over somebody that hurt you, you feel free. I'll be right there waving you forward. But if you just want to get on here and talk to somebody, reach out to me. I'm going to post my email in the comments. Reach out and hopefully get in touch with us, and we'll schedule a call, and we'll see what's up. That's a little bit about me. I'm gonna get off of here for tonight, but I just want to just throw a little introduction out there so you knew a little bit more about what this is about. So before I leave, don't forget when you go to Subway or Sonic, tell them to make their sandwiches right. Put the damn lettuce on top where it goes. Actually, leave the lettuce off because that shit just wilts. Put those toppings on top. All right.